If I tried it, it's not mine. I like to call Anno. Baby, I need to play Anno. I need to play Anno. Give it to Anno. Watch out, watch out. Come on.
Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
If I can get it, white. I need to white. Move your feet. Move your feet. Move your feet, Ryan.
No!
Where's my phone?
Get him.
No!
Let's go.
No!
More of this. Oh, those what?
Ryan. Ryan, esse. Dá uma olhada aqui pro Ryan, esse.
This Minnesota defense didn't get up and challenge the wide receivers. The Detroit Lions.
Wow. Esse. She's doing a pushing her hair. You go watch your iPad, Ryan.
Oh.
Yeah.
To the 14-yard line.
Twinkle,
No stranger.
little star.
He goes, and you see his career against the Packers.
How
Lost his first three,
I
5 picks in that stretch, but he has to in his last 3 matchups against Green Bay, winning one and having a tie on this field just last November.
His wife is the but they don't echo the ending of the game on Sunday. Sei o que, deixa. Torcida ali, caroca. Sunday. Chaka. Oi.
And then is able to take it for a gain of 3. Mike Daniels the first to get to him. Right, you know, there's a lot of pressure on this defensive front for the Packers. They've been hearing it. When you talk about run defense, it's about the defensive linemen. They must play well, protect the linebackers. headed, and that's why they call the center over
We can open it. We can open this box.
October. That's the name.
So I think let's take the next step. How about taking the next step, which is now think about what do we do to create an app, right? We want to create, yes. There's some, this.
So when I get a corporate manage,
You say yes, overwrite.
right? Yes.
Yes. Say capital yes, overwrite for everybody. You should you delete the whole thing and create it again. That's the best way to do. Instead of overwriting, just clean the whole thing. And so here's what I would do. I'll Control C and type in what you have and remove the my app folder altogether. Yeah, this one. Just delete that whole thing. rm-rf. Delete the whole folder and begin again. So it will not ask you this, should I overwrite or not. It's rm space dash rf and delete that folder. You came in. Nice.
This is for you. Everything you need
Wow.
in a little. Wait a minute.
Wow.
There's the password and the.
Wow. You have the whole thing now. So
Yeah.
we'll hand off to the project leader, which is who's the project leader? You. So here is the authorization to work on behalf. Okay.
Wonderful.
So work on
And
it.
then,
We'll guard this.
are you getting on the GoDaddy stuff then?
So is this GoDaddy business? So I'll keep it with me.
Yeah, that's you.
Okay. Good.
And there's our letter.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
We'll make it
yeah, no,
happen.
thank you guys. We're excited.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Oh, no,
They'll help you. In return, you know what they want.
I know.
I told you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So here is the GoDaddy password. Keep it safe. I know. Yeah. Yeah. Come on in. So let's take that next step now. I want to show you what do we need to do. I was going to sit here. You took my chair. Grab a chair from outside. Sorry, man. Yeah. Okay, guys, what I'm going to show you is a quick way of creating an application. It is really, really trivially simple if you're using Ruby and Rails. Ruby is a language, Rails is a framework. Both of them open source. Okay? Ruby language is a way you talk English like you talk Ruby. It's pretty much similar, actually. Conceptually very similar. Ruby language is created by a Japanese person who now works for Heroku, I think. His name is Matsumo or Matsumoto, one of these names. I don't exactly know, but this is the language. Not Machu Picchu, Matsu. And Matsu works for Heroku, which is now Salesforce.com. And this guy created the language several years ago. You can download the language, but don't have to because it's already loaded in your boxes, in your virtual box. This other guy called DHH created Rails framework. So we'll use that framework. It is called the Rails framework, and it is downloadable from this website. You have it already installed. If not, we'll get it for you. Rails 4.1 is the latest. And what I'm going to show you, and just watch right now what I'm doing, is first of all creating a folder. Let me delete that test folder first. So I'm deleting the test folder altogether. It's gone. I'm going to clear my screen and now create a test folder again. So clear and mkdir test, so that I can work inside a subfolder. So if you go inside that test folder, the tree is empty, right? So I am inside the test folder right there. So the full path. And inside there, what I want to be able to do is create an application that does nothing, literally nothing. And that empty application skeleton is what we will create. And it's very simple. All you need to do is somehow magically have Rails already loaded and Ruby already loaded. So we'll go about setup later on, but I think we might have on this machine Rails already loaded. So we'll say Rails and then create. And let me cheat. What was that command again? Yeah, Rails new my app. That's the name. So that's what I want to cheat on. So I want to say not Rails create, but Rails new my app. That's the command. Not create, but new. New actually creates it, creates a new application. That's the command. Very simple, very trivial. The name of the application will be my app. I can call it whatever I want. Huh? Yeah, I can call it whatever I want, or call it $19 billion. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll call it $19 billion, or just leave it as my app for now. Right? So Rails new my app. Don't do it right now. We'll do it again with you, all of us. It is simple. Rails new my app. And this folder, by the way, is empty. You see that? Tree dot empty. Rails new my app. And if I enter here, it will create a bunch of files inside a folder. Folder will be called my app. So it's creating that. A bunch of files created. A bunch of ready-made work, coding and all that done for us by this guy. He is doing the coding right now for us. He created the Rails framework. A framework is a method of generating boilerplate code. You know what boilerplate is? Template? Template? Boilerplate? Same thing. Boilerplate code is skeleton code. Somebody does the grunt work, all the hard work. So we don't have to do it. Conceptually, yes, you can call it a macro. The idea behind it is that you do not reinvent the wheel. You never reinvent the wheel. In the open source world, you never write code unless you have to. You use it. Somebody already wrote it. It's okay to copy because it is legal. It's okay to just take code. It is not stealing. It is our code. It's open source. And the condition being, when you take the code, you make some changes, you give it back to the community. That's how the community grows. So it's okay to copy in open source, not from Microsoft, right? Not from private companies, but if open source, you can copy comfortably. And idea is to actually copy, learn from others. And this guy has released the entire Rails framework in open source. And he actually created the Rails framework so that he generates code on demand for us whenever we say Rails new, whatever. It will create a bunch of code for us. He just did. So thank him for doing that. And it said, you know, something happened. Your bundle is complete and all that good stuff. And so, yeah, let's examine what is inside the folder now. So right now in the same folder, I'll say tree and dot. And I see 39 directories and 39 files, all these files created. And so we want to thank this guy. He did it. David. He works for a company called 37 Signals. And it's a very popular framework. Twitter, this company, is created on Rails. This whole thing that you see. It used to be Rails. It's not Rails anymore. But when it started, it was Rails, the whole application. This is a very well-known example of Rails application. And so this is the creator. This is the source for Rails. This is the language, Ruby. And what we have in our folder is a new folder called My App. And inside that, we have a bunch of files and folders and all that good stuff, all that. So we'll go and examine them visually. Visually, as in, let me actually use this view to examine. So if you make it a little smaller so you can see a little better. The global view I want to show you. Global view as in a big picture view of 39 items. You kind of sort of get a concept. See that My App at the very top, and in a global view of listing all these things we see. At the top level, we have a gem file, We have an app folder, we have a bin folder, and a config folder. You probably don't see this, so let me just. Let me make it big back again, and I'll scroll through. So I'm resetting it, and say tree dot one more time, and this time keep it big so you can see from a distance, and I'll slowly scroll. So you see that there is this folder called my app. That's the basic bucket. The whole application is inside there. Then there are certain things in there like gem file and this file, lock file and readme file and rake file, and this is where the application sits. Ready-made application that they give us, skeleton application. You want to grab coffee? Go ahead, do that. Cool. So application sits here in this folder. If you scroll down, there is a binary folder called bin. That's where binaries will get stored. We don't have to worry about the binary part because it gets automatically generated. We don't go there. Most of the work we do is actually inside the application. An application developer will make changes to this folder and make things happen. Everything else is support to make the application run. So the application developer strictly focuses on these elements in this folder. That's it, actually all the way through this line, right? So inside that app folder is where we need to focus on. Think about that folder. Everything else is just support. So there is a bin folder, configuration folder, and more configuration, database, libraries, logs, and public, and test, and temporary, and vendors, and all that. So a bunch of skeleton comes along, we leave them in their place, we go inside the app folder and focus on the app now. So I'm going to now clear again, and this time go inside the app folder like this. And look what we have inside there. So we'll go tree and show us the tree. So in this case, we have only 12 directories and 5 files inside the app folder. Now look carefully here. There are 3 broad things that we need to worry about. One of them is controller. The other is model. And third one is view. Those are the 3 things we need to worry about from an application's perspective. And I'll now describe to you probably this in a weird way that will make you really understand what I'm talking about. So the 3 things I'm saying, I'm going to repeat that to make you remember easily, is people call this thing that I just said, they call it MVC, model, view, controller. And I'll try to come up with an example to help you understand what this is all about and what this actually means. Like, how does it actually work? And this is what developers live and die for, by the way, just so you know. Most developers will think about these 3 things: model, view, and controller. MVC. There is an MVC pattern of programming. So this is the pattern that Rails uses. We are not going to become developers overnight, but at least we need to understand what this thing is, right? So I will now try to come up with weird examples of, I'll give me a few minutes and I'll come up with examples for that to help you understand what this thing is. How will I explain MVC to somebody who has never heard of it? Have you heard of this MVC before? Probably not. You have. Oh, sorry.
No, I was asking why.
So the idea behind MVC is separation of concerns or distribution of responsibilities. That's a broad idea. So you have, let's say, my responsibility is to bring cookie and your responsibility is to eat cookie, right? That's separation. What does it mean? Is that I should not be eating cookies and you should not be bringing cookies. That's separation of responsibility, right? Separation of concerns. There could be a third concern, is at the end of eating cookies, we should discard these boxes and clean it up. Another person, another role, another distinctly different function. That's how conceptually these 3 things are. The model looks at how the data is going to be structured, laid out. People use big sounding words to make it really complex. It is not complex. It's just programming. Think of it that way. People make it really sound crazy, and they'll make it sound as if they're talking rocket science. It is not. I'll give you an example of how it actually works. And I'll open up an application. The application is called Remember the Milk. You might have heard it. So I'm going to remember milk. And in that application, it looks like this with a cow and everything. So you just log in. And inside there, what do you expect to see? Is a to-do list, right? Let's see, what do I have in the to-do list? File for citizenship, 16th of September. Property taxes in King County, October 31st. Pay sewage tax and renew driver's license in 2018. The 4 items on my to-do list, right? Now let's look at what is the data structure you might need to store a to-do list. To-do list. What do you need to remember? Right, the string of characters, or whatever you will write here, that is the text you will need to store, right? The milk. Or another one would be citizenship, right? I haven't even filed yet, but I have the papers ready. Eventually, one day I'll mail it. Right, yeah. Yeah, I need to find time to read it. Somebody typed it for me. So yeah, this is what is called text, right? It contains whatever I want to write. And then another element will be a checkbox, like here, done or not done. Like if it is empty, if it is empty, then it is not done. If it is done, then it is done. That's another thing to store about a to-do list. So the data stored around a to-do is something like a string of characters, A, B, C, milk, whatever. It can be any number of characters, and a checkbox associated. Should I check it or not? And maybe a date, by when I need to do it. That's a very trivial, simple data structure. Do you understand what I said? Data structure. A structure of the data. How will it be stored? What will constitute a data structure for your home address? Yeah, exactly. The street number, then the street, this is a number. Then you have some characters here, right? Some more characters. And this constitutes what I call line number 1. Then you have sometimes line number 2. And then you have city. Then you have state. Oh, sorry, state. I'm just filling data, right? I should write state. And then you have zip. And all of this assumes that you are in the US. It doesn't work in other countries, right? You know that. So you might have a number, but this is very non-standard. Only certain cities have this number and character. So we just leave a long empty space for character, another long empty space for line number 2, and a space for cities, a 2-letter code for state, and a zip code would be 5 plus 4, right? You know what 5 plus 4 is? Yeah, zip and extension. So that's the structure for a data for your home address or work address or any address in the US, generally speaking. You understand what a data structure is? This is it. When people talk about model, they're actually talking about data structures. How will the actual application be storing stuff? It can be as simple as a to-do list, like this, or could be a data, like this, like home address. Could be like a student name and the class they signed up for and the date of graduation. In any kind of table that stores stuff, information in a well-structured format is called data structure. You have a structure around it. Some people call it, to make it further complexify, they call it a schema. It sounds fancy, but yes, but it's the same thing. Don't make people confuse you. They're talking about a data model. They're talking about schema. They're talking about structure. They're talking about stuff to put items. Like you put WA in the field called state. So this is the data, this is the field, and that's the model. You got that? That's model. Now we'll talk about view. You cannot see this. Let me explain to Siri again. allow me to explain to Siri again. So the data gets stored somewhere that you don't see. So where does the data get stored?
Memory.
Or database, right? So when we talked about, if you remember me talking about LAMP, so this M was MySQL, is a database, and that's where inside there will be a table which will store your structure for the data, and it will be lines after lines after lines after lines after lines for address, or more lines for to-do list. And I can keep adding. I can go here and say I want to add a new task like this. Tell everybody about MVC. I just added a new task and I entered. So what happened is it became my errand. No, it's not errand, but that's the classification, errands. And tell everybody about MVC. Now I can call it done by marking it like this checkbox. You see that? Do you? From a distance, can you see? So I just marked it as complete, or maybe I did not complete yet. So I can say uncheck it, or I can check it, or I can uncheck it, and I can check it. And you can see these changes happening at the very moment back in the database somewhere in the cloud, some database somewhere, probably some MySQL database. This one that stores a table, that stores a structure for the to-do list as I change stuff here and here and here again. It dynamically changes, and it goes all the way to the internet, to that cloud computer where the database is running, and makes those changes in that appropriate table in the appropriate entry for this line item corresponding to tell everybody about MVC for my account. And all of you can have accounts. This, remember, the milk is free. If you use it on the phone, it is not free. Use it on the browser, it is free. So if you use it on the phone, you can actually see in the phone changing. As I click here, the phone thing will change. And if you click here, this thing will change. So it's synchronized through that database on the back end, on the very back end. You see what's going on? Have you seen such a thing before? Give me another example like this. Anything like this? iCloud Notes, very good one. Another, email, yeah. Facebook on the phone, Facebook on the website, same thing. iMessenger, iMessage, you mean, yeah. iMessage. So more examples that you may have seen such behavior. The actual stuff gets stored in some database somewhere away, far away from you. Evernote. Yep.
Or like if you have a YouTube account and if you save one on the computer, you can see.
Yes. So all these things that you're looking at, by the way, they may or may not be well structured. See, when you have a YouTube video, what are the things that you go with a YouTube video? Let's look at some YouTube videos right now. Yeah, exactly. See, yes, lots of other things go along. It is not a simple structure. If you look at the YouTube channel, and let's look at some of the videos. And so in the video, we have this Redmond video, right? I'll not play it, but Redmond session that I had, we are talking about, the item here. This is a video file. It's a big file, probably about 3 hours and 5 minutes long. And associated with that, there is a name, there is a creator, and streamed live on September 29th, category, license, how many people watched it? Not many, 2. And that's what we see, Right. Somebody outside the class must have watched it, but the class was live. So the September 29th is like a few days ago. And if you look at some other examples of, let's see here, videos, and like this one. you have lots of viewers. You have 222 views, and this people are constantly watching. It's pretty active, pretty good video. This is how I build the Boeing class, by talking.
Now, are all your videos public?
No.
Like the class videos and stuff?
No, class videos are not public. It's only for you. When I talk publicly, I talk like this, and I'm probably in some public place broadcasting, and I let people watch it. So that's the structure for a data for a YouTube. So we can come up with your own structures for any data you want, and then think about, when you think about model, view, and controller, think about the model part is the data structure part. How do you actually store it? And how do you process it? You want to make changes to it. That's what the model part is. Going back to our terminal here, we looked at this segment, the model, right? Now, the second thing I want to talk about is views. The views can be different based on whether you're looking at a phone or the browser, right? The view are the actual rendition of the data. Okay, so it is the look. You may want to hide certain aspects from the data, not expose them. When you're on the phone, you may not want certain other things. You can just strictly focus a YouTube video only on the video and not show other things that are associated with the video, because the screen is small. The real estate is very small. You want to suppress other things and not expose, not make them viewable every single time. Otherwise, it becomes tedious to watch it. So the view doesn't have to be a complete representation of data, but a good, useful representation of data. And viewing and showing is completely different from actually storing the data, right? Two different functions, two different roles, two different people can do it.
So technically, most places would say like YouTube has two different views, one for the mobile app and the other one for
Yes.
the
Yes.
normal internet.
Yes. Correct. Correct. Yeah, you can have iPad view, you have a Kindle view, a Kindle Fire view, you have a view on the Sony PlayStation, view on Nintendo Wii. Everybody looks, the YouTube looks different on multiple devices. Same is true of Netflix, right? So these are views. The renditions are different, but the data is actually much bigger. They may not show you everything. You can sometimes. Maybe I don't have PlayStation, but yes, conceptually the idea is keep views separate from the model itself, and you can deploy separate people with separation of concerns and different responsibilities to manage. Hey, you will do the view part and you do the data part, the model part. So two separate people in concept. Apply that to computers. Two separate processes will handle two different files will actually write. One will deal with the viewing part and the rendition, and the other will manage the data itself through the database connection. Got that? So now tell me, what will the controller be doing? Exactly. Pretty much. Exactly. And that's what MVC is. So we have some MVC pattern going already. It's given us a skeleton in our sample application that got generated that shows up here. There is MVC. There are other things like assets. And here is images, JavaScript applications to make it look different, some style sheets to make it color. The coloring of it can change by using style sheets. So the look and feel get modified through this. They generally are called assets. These are static files. They do not change much. It can be picture of a cat or a YouTube video, the MP4 file itself. It can be an MP3 file if you want to allow that to be played back or downloaded. So any assets that go along with the application get stored in that folder called assets. Controllers is where the logic stores. This is where the meaningful action of the application actually happens in this folder. Whatever that meaning is going to be, how will the application perform? The application logic would be something like, I click. And so there is an application that needs to run to tell the database model to mark it as complete. And then I can go up and mark it complete by clicking the complete button, and there it goes. So when I do that, it says, tell everybody about MVC completed. Do you want to undo? And if you undo here, this undo function will be another control function that will bring it back. These are all control functions that you write in that file here. All the control segments, like all the logic, how it actually should function, goes in that folder. It's separated out. You don't mix and match code from control parts and view parts and the data model part. You want to keep them clean, keep them separate, separation of responsibilities. Like you get the cookie and you eat the cookie. That's the separation, right? So yes.
With the control, so the controls over the model and the view. So when the control make a decision on the model, it affects the view. Which goes back to the control.
Yes. Yes.
So they just all.
Yes, they are all connected, and you should go read Wikipedia MVC pattern. There are good write-ups available on Wikipedia. The best ones are there on Wikipedia. It's always Wikipedia is the first one to go. You know why? It's open source, and if you make a mistake in writing, somebody will correct you immediately. Immediately correct you. And if you write something bad, they'll come and beat you. Really bad. So it's mostly accurate. It's mostly accurate. So helpers here are to help the application itself. So the controllers, you can write helpers, repeatable processes that you can just write them in a separate file and use them over and over. Anything that is repeatable, you want to keep them separate. So that's the idea behind a helper. And we have mailers. So these mailers are functions that you create a new account, somebody emails you automatically. Thank you for signing up. Here is my spam. Click on it. Huh? Sorry? Yeah, so all these mailing happens through this application called the mailer app. So you create an account, somebody will mail you something, and you say, forgot my password, another email. So that mailing notification is an example. This is where it's implemented in the mailing aspects. You heard me say, I described you assets. I told you about controller, the logic itself, the helpers to help the controller, the mailers, the model, and the view. That's the broad classification. Essentially, it is called the MVC pattern. Okay, now come out of it. I'm back in the My App folder. Okay, where am I? I'm in the My App folder. You can see that, right? Can you? Is it too small? Carlos, is it too small? You can see it, good. I guess this is a class of young people, so I don't need to ask you. Yes, I heard you. So the next step is, now we have some app somebody created for us. We did not change nothing. We need to run it now. And we can run it very easily, like this. And it runs. It is running. And it says, do you want to, this thing is actually asking me, do you want to open up a port and go to that port, allow this application to expose itself on that port? That's the question being asked. And I'll say yes. And when I'll say yes, it'll open up port number 3000 and let me see the application, whatever that app is, which is basically mostly empty, because we did nothing. So I'm going to say allow, and then the application is running. That's how it runs. Yes, it is running. It's very exciting. You can actually see it. Yeah, I want to answer a question. I'll actually show you. So stand by. Go ahead. Question.
Well, I was just wondering, I forgot how to do the. I got 2 copies of mine.
So you can delete RM-RF, delete both of them.
Is RM
-RF. So the application actually is running and is visible also. To see that application, you need to visit the website it created. The website is localhost on that machine. So you need to go to that localhost on that machine, and then you should be able to see it on port number 3000. So the idea would be to go to that site, which happens to be localhost, and localhost stands for this computer, wherever you are, that machine. And so this is the port number we want to go. And if I want to open this address in a browser and I want to see my app, so only I can see it because I am the only one connected to my local host. You cannot. Let's see what it shows, right? Let's see. So I'm going to open up browser and open localhost 3000, and I'll expect empty, right? That's what it shows. It shows welcome aboard. You are riding Ruby on Rails. And that's it. You know, it tells you what to do next. The next steps they're suggesting is here's how to get rolling. They're using slang. Here is how to get rolling. This is American usage of English. Yeah, rolling, going. Like Hangout, Google Hangout. This word Hangout is not known outside the US. People don't know what Hangout means. And they have used a globally available application name as Hangout, and people in India go crazy what Hangout is. And so here is how to get rolling. And number 1, you do something. Number 2, do something else. And then 3, something else. Pretty much it. That's how the application itself is showing as an empty blank application. And there is one button which is actionable. And that button, by the way, on the side, you see some documentation references you can go read. And we'll do step number 1, by the way, in this right here. So about the application environment itself, you can see the environment. It runs Ruby and run Ruby gems and all that good stuff. It shows you what is running it on, what is the underlying environment. And this is what it shows. Pretty much this is a blank, empty slate. This thing uses a database. The database is called SQLite. And we don't want to use SQLite because Heroku doesn't want us to use it. Heroku wants us to use a professional database software called PostgreSQL, so we'll use that instead. That's why the instruction you have in this line that I cheated from, like this line says use the database PostgreSQL. And that's the reason why we have that line added on to make this application not use SQLite. Instead, use that database which Heroku expects. But they will produce the same environment Heroku has, so we can just easily push our application and it runs there, right? So as is, I can actually take this app and push it to Heroku, and you can see this. You can see exactly this thing showing up on Heroku.com somewhere. Just if you push it just like this, you will see this on Heroku. Whatever changes you make here will show up there. And that's the change I want to now make. Is I want to go back to this location and actually create it for PostgreSQL, and also do one more thing, which is generate a welcome controller. And this welcome controller will say what? Hello, welcome. The time right now is whatever that time is. And that's what it says. At the time at this moment is, and we'll tell you the time at that moment on that page. That's what this line number 10 does. And so the instruction here is add an index page, which basically means you touch that page and you nano it. It's not HTML. It's not. It looks like HTML. It's actually ERB. So HTML.ERB extension. So it's not HTML. Your variable. Yeah, there is a variable here, right? Time.now. So it will randomly, dynamically generate that variable value and put it there. And so anytime you refresh the browser page, it will show you the time at that moment. So it's not static HTML. It is a variable introduced, embedded in there. So it just pulls up the system time and shows you. The time right now is time.now. That's the variable time.now. And it will evaluate that value and put that in between those, whatever thing is, this thing. This and this. Yes. So after break, we'll continue. Go ahead.
So the one that came up a cheaper way, like how they came with HTML back in 1999. Normally you just typing up the coding, and then Adobe came out with you don't do it anymore, just highlight color and the coding's in the background. So no one has came up with that for ERB.
So you have to write it by hand. So you generate it by software, but not Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver, no, not Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver is dead. You use yeah. Dreamweaver is mostly dead. This is new. Yes.
So that was this is the most I got. So I'm not sure what I.
Yeah, this is you're mostly done. You have to just step number 10 is you're missing, I guess.
But on my index, it pretty much my index is at huh?
The other part though.
Okay.
On the last page.
CD Voltron, and then should be config here or index.
Yep.
Nano. Right.
Yeah. You're probably missing some step somewhere, otherwise it will show you right here. You missed something somewhere along the way.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking it was probably
Your
this-
route. Your route. Show me your route.
let's see. I forgot how to get there. So and
That's down.
down.
So the route is down. So down. So there's a uncomment something on a route. Hello, welcome.
Oh yeah. I actually added it. I mean, I didn't comment it, but
Yeah, let me show that.
I don't know where which
I'm having a problem with that command prompt. Won't come out after I input it.
So here, Rails S, it is running, and you have your app running here on the browser. You open up and say localhost, and it is running for you, and it is not going to come out because it is running, right? So it is running, and you can go and see it here. So say localhost :3000, and there is your app, right? So it is running.
It just didn't ask for that prompt.
No, it will not tell you anything. If you read it, actually did. So you have to read this thing. It tells you.
Okay.
Here, Rails application starting in development mode on this address.
Okay.
So it is running and it is working. You want to stop this, then you come here and close that Firefox. Browser is gone. You come here in this window and press Control C, and it breaks. And do it again. Runs again, and it's running. That's how it runs.
And you go back on those other.
And go, yeah, and then come here and break.
shit, I know what it is.
Okay.
Got it? Sweet deal.
I think it's this. So I didn't uncomment it, but I added the text itself. So that should work, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
In theory.
And you have a typo.
Where? Oh, the hash?
Yeah, the code, this. The hash is okay. The typo is here. You see that? This blinking thing is wrong. And that blinking thing is also wrong.
Oh, so it's supposed to be that.
Yeah.
Dang it. And I'm guessing this right here. Oh, what the hell? This right here is not supposed to be.
It's okay.
Here. That's right there.
Fine. Leave it alone. Come out of it. Come out of it. Run it.
But I got to do a git then.
Git push. Yeah, it's running. You have it running. So just open it on localhost inside your virtual box. Where is the virtual box? And where is Firefox?
Oh, I open it outside.
No, not outside, inside.
Inside. Okay.
So you have to be inside the machine here. So the Firefox, this will work. It is working.
Because you said you have 12 directories and 5 files. I have 13.
It's okay.
So it's okay. Right?
It is working, and this I want to open up the Firefox browser, and you can see as soon as it opens up, go to localhost :3000, and there is your app. Your machine is slow. Well, this is embarrassing. Yeah, so just kill it and open it again. It will work.
I'm like stuck because it's now it's showing the RSA_ID as well, and this because I just checked it. It has a Heroku_pass, right?
So what do you want to do next?
After that, I think I already got this. I'm on this stage. I already did that. So number 4 will be nano.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not letting me add it. Hiroki or Hiroko?
Yeah.
It's adding ID RSA.
So what's your problem?
But I have Hiroko underscore pass and Hiroko.
So you use this.
Oh, so it doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter.
I have duplicate?
Yeah. You can have multiple keys.
As soon as I do this, it's a Ruby not gem on install or something like that.
Okay. Heroku.
That night when I was.
See, the doctor has arrived.
No, is it good now?
It is good.
No, it installed and it says that there is a, what is that called? You want to overwrite something or not? That's what it asks. It goes to this step, and that's when.
Let's follow along.
Okay. Install bundler or
No,
Rails?
no, it's okay.
Oh.
Okay. So now what we want to do is RB rehash. Then we go gem install Rails.
So you're doing like 7 first, ending 6?
No, I'll do 7 again. I'm doing 6 now.
What is this means? RB rehash means?
It brings up all the gems that you have into the command so you can actually use them. So it rehashes the list of all the gems you installed. This will install a gem.
Okay.
This will figure out that you just installed. That's how you look at it.
Okay. Gem, what is gem?
Gem is a package containing Ruby code.
Okay.
So Rails is also a gem. We're installing Rails through a gem.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Installing Rails through the gem.
Yep.
But really the platform, that's what I mean. It's
yes, yeah. It's your platform that you will use to create Ruby applications.
Okay.
Thank you.
This internet connectivity is dead.
Oh, you reboot your computer or reset your Wi-Fi, one of those.
The Wi-Fi, like try resetting the other computer.
Restart your virtual machine. That might fix it.
Disconnect and then reconnect. And your virtual machine.
Everything can install?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where it says conflict. So I don't know why it's.
You have an older app there, so you want to delete that like this, and then you create it again. Now no conflict.
So that's where I stuck that night.
It's just new. You're new to it. That's it. This is a newbie issue. No problem.
Okay.
Not a problem.
So do I have to do the database again or not?
Yeah, we'll do it again. We'll delete this and do it again.
Okay.
Yeah, we just create the thing I just showed you. We'll do that part, and then delete again, and then create the PostgreSQL part.
Okay. Delete everything?
No, just the my app.
My app?
Just my app.
Okay. You already deleted it, right?
Yeah, it will create again.
Okay.
So we'll delete again, and then do step number 8.
Okay, so
yes, RM-IF my app.
Okay.
So
and again, make new apps.
Yeah, no, not this. Like this. Make new app like this. Rails new my app.
Okay.
That makes a new app. So it's making it, and we'll run it and see it. So Rails just finished. The app creation finished.
Okay.
We can go inside my app and then run it. And when it runs, you come here and say localhost 3000, and you have it. Like local.
Slow, yeah. That's right.
There you have it.
Oh, okay.
And you go back there and break it. And then you go out and you rm minus rf.
Why are you deleting again now?
Because I want to go to step number 8.
Oh.
So step number 8 is with PostgreSQL.
Also install database?
No, not install database, but use database. Database is already installed.
Okay.
Right? So we'll do now step number 8 now.
Okay. Thank
Yes.
you. Just a question on at the end of add jump file. This is what you want, and you put it right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
End of the file, right?
Yeah, the very end.
Yep.
And there's nothing down there. So. This is listen. And by gem file, you mean the gem file?
This gem file, the file you have, that's the gem
This
file.
right here. Stupid man. Okay, we're good then. I think hopefully. So after that, you gotta pretty much commit again and then push it out again.
Step 2, when it says delete instead of keys, is there a way to check to see if...
Yeah, go to that folder. Go to the folder and see if you have keys. So go to the folder like this. Go to this folder and see if you have keys there. I have tons of them. And you delete them all. Stale keys. Create new ones.
Is this for everybody?
Of course. Oh, you didn't even know cookies are there? Ouch.
Maybe if you got value, you got 2 hours.
Yep.
That's home turf. That's why.
Oh, Ruby's term for file.
Package. Ruby's term for package of files.
Gotcha.
So I think we should continue. Let's continue. Hey guys, let's go. So I'll continue our discussion on the side-by-side thing, right? I'll open up my Firefox. Where is Firefox? This is Firefox. And terminal on the side, 50/50 view. And then go to this link and continue along in what step we have. Step number 8. Right? Are we on step number 8? So we want to do step number 8 again, this time with PostgreSQL database. Yeah, I want to begin from this step, which is step number 8. The few minutes ago, what we did was without PostgreSQL database, and by default, it used SQLite. And this time we are going to use, so I'll tell you what's going on here. So this time what we'll do is use PostgreSQL, and you will get conflict because of this simple reason. The simple reason is you already have an app called my app. So you want to delete that my app. And so in here, let's see if I have my app there. Yes, I do. So I'm going to remove that my app. Let me make it bigger. Make it bigger. Yeah. So I have a my app folder. I want to delete that folder altogether by typing like this. And it's gone. Now I do not have any conflict. And now I'm ready to do step number 8, which is this time with PostgreSQL. Like here. Control C or reboot that virtual machine itself. That might help. Reboot just the VM. So now we are going to empty out that my app folder and then take this line and run it. This line will create another new application called my app. Same exact thing, except one thing is different. And that thing different is that you're using PostgreSQL database, which is what Heroku uses in their side. So we want to use the same database here. So we'll run it. It's as simple as running it. Rails, new, my app, same thing. But database is going to be PostgreSQL. Don't make a typing mistake. PostgreSQL. Yeah. And then enter. Rails command not found because Rails is not found in my machine because I did not finish the other steps. So let me go and finish them. I'm straight jumping on step number 8. You should throw your laptop and get a new one.
I can't do that. It's expensive. Always on this one, and I can't do it.
See, what's going on is that you have a my app folder already. Right there. You want to kill that folder like this. And now it will not complain this time. It's already existing. You want to create another new app with the same name. What is going to say?
Not enough bread. So that's the reason I can't pass. Like I try every time to keep saying like yes.
Oh, you're still running the old application. You have not deleted it and you're not even on the command prompt. Now you first, by the way, you are inside .ssh. Don't go there. Don't work in .ssh folder.
Oh, I created in there.
I know you created in there. That's bad. Don't go there. You should be like. Finish it off. It'll work. It'll work. Complete that step like database and all that. Step number 8. So after I do the steps number 1 through 7, I'll be doing step number 8 now, which is like this. And it still does not because I forgot step number 7. And now I'll do the step number 8, and it'll work. So if you forget a step along the way, you will miss, and something will go wrong. Totally expected. Totally expected. So right now it is creating a new application. The name happens to be, again, the same name, my app. And this time it is using PostgreSQL. And once the application is installed, you go inside it, go inside my app and run it. Or actually, you can just push it to Heroku and it is done. So right now it finished creating that my app. I will go inside that my app folder and look what is inside by looking at the tree dot, and show me that there are 38 directories and 39 files and all that good stuff. We saw that already here. So I can push this app as is to Heroku and it will go and work. We can do that. But we want to make something meaningful, something useful. So we want to change the controller and change a view. We are not touching data, because if you are showing just the time right now is time.now, if that's what we are going to show, then we are not touching any data. So there is no change to the model, because there is no data change. All we are doing is changing the view and telling the controller to render the view. The view happens to be the time right now is time.now. Okay. So that's the view we will create, and that's the corresponding controller we will create. The controller gets created automatically. We don't have to write that code. The controller gets created through line number 9 here. There is a code for generating controllers. So DHH has done most of the work for us already. And so what we will do is generate a controller called welcome. The controller's name here is line number 9. The name is welcome. Can you see it? Rails generate controller welcome. And that's what I'm going to type here in this window. I'll clear it. I'm in the my app location, and in there I'll type Rails generate. There is a shortcut here called G. You don't have to type generate. Programmers are lazy, and it's a great thing to be lazy, because I want to do anything only 2 times. If I find that I'm doing something twice, I will automate and not do it 3rd time by hand, because I'm by definition lazy. I'll spend the whole night to automate the whole thing, but I will never do it the 3rd time by hand. So I may not be lazy for that night, but I want to really be lazy. So I'll spend extra effort to automate it, so I don't have to repeat it. That's what I mean by lazy. Okay, efficient, but whatever. The idea is, if you find something repeatable, you give it to a computer. If you find something intelligent and smart that is not repeatable, you give it to a human, not to an alien. So Rails generate controller welcome. That's what I will type. Yes, you are within the my app, and in there you generated a controller, and what controller did is created more files automatically and put that in the right locations. Rails G is for generate. You don't have to type the whole thing. So you fix your gem file and specify whatever you have. So your gem file contains 2.11, your Ruby version is 2.12, so you update your gem file. So you edit your gem file, essentially says nano gem file.
So this is command.
So you are typing mistake. Gem file begins with capital G. You have to look for it, ls. So ls will tell you what it is. Actually, you don't have a gem file, or you do. That's the gem file. So in there, your line should say 2.12, because that's what your Ruby version is. So somewhere along here, you'll find a version reference for Ruby. So scroll down using the keyboard, no mouse. There. So you change the Ruby version to match it, and you're done. So it says unable to download data from some website. So you are not connected to the internet. That's the problem. So you can break that by, your real computer is, your virtual computer is not.
Okay.
And that's what you see here in the exclamation.
Okay.
So you have to reboot your machine. And so reboot, say shutdown, and there will be a restart button here. Click, click, and here is the restart button. Yeah, it can be. It can. It's a machine on top of machine, and so that makes it slow. Yes.
This error.
So make it 2. Yeah. Yeah. So in this controller that we generated automatically, it created a bunch of files and put that in the right location. Let's see what those locations are. Yes.
Rails, how do you see this command operating within Rails? So Rails
Inside the My App folder, yes.
controller welcome. How does it know what welcome is?
It can be Aaron or Nilesh.
It's just
It becomes Nilesh controller, it becomes welcome controller, it becomes any name you want. Cookie controller that will eat all the cookies.
Cookie monster.
That's exactly what the Costco lady said when I was checking out. Oh, Cookie Monster. When I was checking out right now, like an hour ago. Elmo. So here it says, you generated create this. It created this file, more files get created. All these creations are going in various locations like app, assets, app, test helper, test controller. The key operative part is here, controller. And this is the welcome controller that gets created.
So my question is, so you create the controller and it's got its base template, the boilerplate for whatever, and now you added the index page to populate the HTML page. But if you didn't do that, I mean, do you have to create the different HTML page and different input file to specify exactly what that welcome controller is?
Yes. Yes. You have to create M, V, and C. At this moment, that command that said, the command that we ran was Rails generate controller and blah. Right? Huh? Sorry. So Rails generate controller blah. So it generated a blah controller. It did not create a view. It did not create a model. So we have to create these things by hand.
Okay, so you created blah, whatever. So view is the HTML file, and model is
Data, structure.
Is just the text inside of the HTML.
No, not text. Data.
Oh, just how you're setting it up. Okay.
It may not have data. Like in our example, we do not have no data at all whatsoever.
Well, but you do. You have the text and you have the embedded timestamp.
Yes, the timestamp comes from this time, and the view contains the text.
Yes.
It is not data.
It has the text, but the model itself, I mean, you have to structure that text inside of that HTML file.
So let's look at this. So here, this element from the letter F all the way through, GC, which is green card, beginning from F all the way through C is the data. The HTML file that goes here is the view. So this, what you see, is the HTML file.
Yeah.
This HTML code is the view corresponding to that.
But where you put it, isn't that the data structure?
No, this is HTML view structure. Is the rendition, how it looks. The actual meaningful data is this string here, which is file for citizenship, for example. And the checkbox is the data. The title or the errands is the classification, that is data. But how you lay it out here is not data, it's the view, how it looks, how it is rendition, how it is rendered on a page on the browser, or how it shows up in your phone or your tablet could be different. The data itself is not the view. View gets stored in things like this, HTML. The data gets stored in a model that goes here. The view contains HTML mostly, sometimes HTML templates, not strictly HTML, but HTML templates. Like in our example here, not here. Here, we have this thing is not HTML strictly, but it is a HTML template that has a variable and it is actually a eRuby file, not HTML. It's a HTML based template file that will generate HTML when it is rendered. And so when it actually shows, it will not show you this percent and whatever that angle bracket and equals and time dot now. This line will be not visible to you when you see it. Instead, you will see the time at that time. And so this is a view. This does not contain data. The data elements, as I showed you, was the string that I mentioned, a picture of your dog on Facebook, the title that you put in, the comments you make, those are data elements. The structure, the skeleton around it is the view. Where was I? Here. So in here we have a controller created. That was the step number 9. Now we want to do a view creation. And in this step number 10, what we have is
Where your first page will hit to, or like whatever picture.
yeah, this is the page I want to show. This is the page I want to show when the thing opens up.
Hello, Cloud Genius.
Something like that. So I want to create that file. It will create my view when I go to that site. Nano is the only tool we have. There are better tools, but we don't have it. Yes, we have to create that file with that exact location, with that file name, and drop the text from the blue box.
So you can either nano directly into that.
Touch it, and then nano.
Okay, so you can touch it and nano. Touch it. And you can touch the entire string. So
Yeah, you should. Yes, you should. Exactly. Yes, correct. Yep, you should touch this thing like this.
Or you can CD into all that.
And then touch the end. Correct. So you bring a good point. I want to take that and show you here like this. That's a very good way of describing it. What I will do is do 2 ways of doing this thing. Line number 10. There are 2 ways. One way is that I touch it directly. Or other way is could be that I go step by step. So this is one way. This another way is this. Or you can just directly touch it. Yeah, sorry. Directly nano it also.
Is this under my apps though?
Yes, all of it is under my apps. So we are in the my app folder because that's where we are working. Yeah, so there are various ways of doing it.
So if I was at home, I could just say CD my app and then touch that file right there and then open the computer.
Yep.
Ah! Yeah.
Congratulations.
Then I mean, for this is just a different way to pretty much. This is just managing your own.
Lots of other steps. You can go scale up, scale down. You can play with that.
Yeah.
You want to get you have to give your credit card them. They'll not let you scale though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It'll be free, but they need a credit card.
Okay.
So once I touch, I can just put nano in that file and then.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I don't know what it's doing.
Yeah, it's running.
It's running?
Yeah, it's running. So you open it up.
Oh, I can open it up?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was waiting for the user thing to pop up.
No, it's running.
Oh.
Now you open it in a new browser, go to localhost 3000 and it's running.
Wait, what? I don't go on Heroku, I make a new tab?
No. New tab. You type in localhost.
One word?
One word. Colon 3000. A colon. Yeah. 3000. And colon, not semicolon.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now it's taking my place. I don't know why. How do I make it stop? Oh.
You have to type it again. Localhost 3000.
BR will make this a different line, correct? The time I'm doing this.
Correct.
If I do a BR.
Line break.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Same thing. Yeah.
So just what is it? So you want us to copy inside it?
Yep. Correct.
So you ran the rail service, and it basically ran it, but then kind of stopped off after the port and didn't return back to the user.
It doesn't because it is running. So you want to open that site in a browser, say localhost 3000, and there it is running right there. So you want to break it after you're done running by pressing Control C.
And then I had a typo. Instead of using this, I guess I used these. And I guess that's not right.
Good. Beautiful. So it is running. You're done running. You want to break it by Control C. Control C here. Click and break. Yeah, there it is. It comes out. When you're done running, you break it. Control C.
So generally, I can pretty much skip this part to where, because these are all like pretty much just managing your account, your pretty much your virtual.
Yeah.
So you would, what steps can I do? Can I do this?
You can do everything. All the steps.
Oh, I can't. You said I can't
Keep doing. Whenever it stops you, when you try to scale, you will still continue, but it will fail. Cannot scale without money. That's what it. You will still continue along. You finish the whole thing. At some point, it will say, "I cannot do it. Give me credit card."
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
That's it. You may want to open it right in this window, side by side, if the machine is not too slow. The terminal on one half and Firefox in the other half, so you can just ease. Okay, that's fine.
Where do you get all this information? Where do you get all this information?
This one right here.
Values or
Documentation, Rails documentation.
So
Rails documentation.
it's already made.
Yeah.
What you were saying, it's already made. We only, like if you want to do a different app, the code's already made.
Yeah, most of the code there, we search for it in the documentation, use that and write the missing parts.
Okay.
Whatever is missing, you write that code.
Exactly. But it's already made.
Most of it is made. Like quite a bit, 90% is done.
Okay.
You should use that. When you begin, you'll find that 90% is usable.
Okay. And we use
When you
Rails we use Rails like a library.
yes. You can use most of that code. The library gives you access to it, so you use it. And then when you become like experienced with it, you can still use the library, but you write your own libraries.
Exactly. Because you will know how to do it.
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense. And it's a repeat. I think this is about repeating that
Yeah.
process and learning the commands.
Yes.
It's good. All right, so what do we do after this?
Continue along.
Continue
The
along.
next step. Let me go there and walk you through. Hey.
Oh, I'm good. I take the personal stuff.
Okay.
Got billed for fine.
Cool.
Get out from here, like
Control C. Control C.
It's different.
It's always Control C.
You just told him to do the Control X.
C, C.
Ah.
Supposed to add this in there.
So this is what you want to get rid of.
Oh.
Either you can add or get rid of that. That adds it. There we go. Oh, no. Undo, undo, undo. Oh, yeah, open it up. What we want is this. That's how you add it, by uncommenting it.
Oh, these make comments.
Yes.
Oh. I don't have to know those join that.
Okay, let's take that next step now. Where is that next step? Here, cancel. So we added that file. Let me also add it with you. So I'm going to create that file here. Line number 10, I'm doing it right now. What I'm going to do is nano and then paste that thing. And I create the file, copy this text from here all the way. This box, I want to copy the whole thing. Copy. And bring it to nano, paste it. And when I'm done pasting, I'll exit and say, yes, I want to save it. And I'm going to examine that file now. The file that I got created, I'm going to examine that file. Did I create it correctly? So I'll say cat and then paste. And yes, it is done correctly, which is nice. Because now I can do the next thing, which is line number 11. And in this line number 11, there is a little bit confusing remark. Before I describe to you what line number 11 is asking you to do, I want you to go to this file and that location. So we'll open that location in nano and paste it. So in line number 11, we want to go to that file and edit it. And in that file, we want to make a tiny little change. All these hash symbols or pound symbols, these pounds, they're all comments. They do not count as code. So all these pound signs or hash symbols do not count. So just delete that comment here for this root line we have is go, and it is not a comment anymore. So you. So we uncommented that particular line. That's what line number 11 is asking us to do.
Anybody else get this? This is all step number 9.
Yeah, just start from the beginning.
Well, you gotta love how straightforward it is. Bundle up, bundle up.
I think you're done. Yeah, it'll finish and then you're done. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. All right, so now I'm on the tip.
So in line number 11, step number 11, what we did is they edited that line, removed the commentary, removed the pound symbol, hash symbol, and make that line, which is this line here. We activated that line, this one. Most of the other lines here are comments. Here are comments. They look blue in color. Whatever is this blue color?
Yeah.
They look blue in color, and that line is white and green in color. So it's active, as opposed to this line is not active because it is commented out. I removed the comment here to make it active. Now I want to save this file. That's what step number 11 is asking us to do, is to create. It says in this file, add whatever it said. You can add that by uncommenting an existing comment or by typing it up. Either way. Right? You can uncomment the existing line to make it active. Yeah, everything is under my app, and you go inside. Yeah, you need to go in that location called line number 11 says. In fact, I can edit line number 11 to read it a little better. I think it is kind of not good.
What else commands do ERP has?
So there is a ERB manual. You can read it on Wikipedia. It's huge. It's interesting. Yeah, CSS. So go assets folder and change the style sheet. You can do color. Yeah. So here I'm going to make this edit here to make it clear. This line 11 is not easily understandable. So I'm making some edits right now in 11. Give me a second. I'm finishing editing and I'll talk.
All we have to do is delete all that text with just the hashtag. Just the hashtag.
Oh, you call it hashtag now?
Yeah, they call it hashtag. Sharp, the hash mark.
Hashtag. That's a good one. I'll remember that. It's easier to communicate, right? I need to know these things. So hashtag, as opposed to another Twitter hashtag, right? Yeah. As opposed to calling it pound. So I updated line number 11 to make it read a little better. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the line number 11 now reads a little better. Does it?
Yes.
It says look for a line like that and make it look like that.
If you were giving a specific line number, I was like,
I know. It changes, like, sometimes.
make it look like.
So it essentially is uncommenting that particular line by removing the hashtag. If you have a hashtag, it's all commentary, not code. Commentary is not code. So when you make it like that, you make that particular piece part of code. And now I'm going to exit out of it and save it. So I finished line number 11. I will move along and go read it.
Cat and then Rails. Just the file you just put it in.
So what happens when you do the Rails server verification?
Then you go
So right now we have added line number, step number 11, we finished that. And you can verify that the page is there by running your Rails server. So right now what I'm going to do is clear and run Rails server. Run Rails server by typing Rails S. And then it should, it's a shortcut. And in here, I'll say localhost :3000 and see what's going on. And I see my time of day, time.now. So it is running locally. Without the gem, it will still run locally. The gem is for Heroku.
Sweet. Mine is centered just like I wanted.
Hello, you amazing being. Nice. So it is working, yes.
So I got the key.
Did you, you have a typo, identity. You type in a speaking American accent with a T silent or Boston accent. Identity. Identity. Like there's a T is missing in identity.
Yeah, I got it.
Right.
So where do I fix it?
So it's in that file. Line number 3. Identity is Boston accent, right?
Does this mean we're all developers now?
Huh?
Does this mean we're all developers now?
Yes, you are developing it.
Put that on your resume.
Yes!
I'm a Rails developer.
Just when you get to the interview, that's gonna be the hard part. Yeah. Or they ask you to perform work on the spot.
I just start talking in Ruby language. I'm like the CD right now. That's a good time. It's not part of it. You may not be.
And you need to actually give the path to the private key, like wherever the private key is. It's not path to private key, but your actual path to the key. Right? Yeah. You have to locate your key and put it, the path to the key. After the fact? You go to the .sh folder, it's typically sitting there. That's the pub. You want to get the private.
Local 3000.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's fine. It's okay. I understand.
But I'm on this step, and it's like I did what you did, and I went on this, but it's still stuck on this.
It's not stuck. It is running. This is not stuck. This is running correctly. See, the time is running.
How do I make it stop? So
Control C. So click here and Control C.
And then I can go to step 12?
Yeah.
Okay. What does step 12 do?
I'll tell you.
Oh.
Just now. I have not talked about it.
There.
No, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I'm finished. Stopped at 11. No. You can run ahead if you like. You can break here. It exited. It comes out.
Does it make this stop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Now this thing will not work.
So this needs to be running.
For this to show.
This to be running.
Correct.
But if I wanted to run all the time, would I do that whole put it on another computer?
Yeah. You go to Heroku, put it there. It runs all the time.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like you. Okay.
Say yes.
Even though it's saying, NBA,
It's very particular. Are you sure? Yeah, it is. You're mostly done, by the way. Yeah. Your app is going live. You're sending it to Heroku. How are you doing?
Very good. I just tried this one. It sounds waiting for you how to do it. I tried this one.
Yeah, you have to read carefully. Line number 12. See what it says. At the end of gem file, add that line. So you have to edit that gem file and add that to the end. See, read it carefully.
It's like HTML.
I know. He's having a party. He's having a party, and a few days, few days from now, you'll have a full-fledged website running Rails somewhere on his account. So you have to read line number 12 very carefully. And it says at the end of that file called gem file, please add that line. So you have to open gem file. It's right there. It's right there, ls, and you will see it. It's right there, looking at you. This file, gem file. So open it up and nano gem file, capital G, not lowercase.
Like exact same.
Exact same. And then you add this line at the end, and you're done.
And then you put.
Yeah, it's only the LS that came up. So he said, do that one.
So nano gem file.
Then you go to the end.
Oh.
And at the end of the gem file, add blah.
It took us a second to realize that that's the gem file. Okay.
Oh.
We're still learning. We're still getting it.
Am I writing too complex or too cryptic?
You're not. It's just very. We're learning a lot.
I'm writing very terse. Like at the end of gem file, add blah.
Yeah. It took us to realize that that's the gem file. We're still.
I think I need to improve my writing.
Not writing. Maybe just breaking it down a little bit more as to what things are.
Yeah. I'm not on 12 yet, right? I'll describe that.
Yeah.
So let me describe. Hey, so the step number 12. Let's look at step 12. Hey guys, step number 12 is to actually open up a file and add that line to the end of that file. The file is called gem file. I will elaborate. It's very cryptically written. It says what it says. It says line number 12. Add at the end of gem file. Add this line. It's very cryptic. Very cryptic. Not dot lock, just gem file. At the end of not terminal, nano. So you have to open that gem file and add this line at the end of the gem file. So you find the gem file, exactly. The gem file is sitting in your face, right there, here. And so you go nano and gem file, and at the end of it, you add the line, and you save.
How did you exit again?
Control X.
Go back and look at it.
Are you done?
Oh, and it pops up twice, I think.
You want to push the hash? Hashtag.
Okay.
You're not typing the right name. Your name is wrong. Your G is capital, not soul.
You are? Which internet are you on?
The CenturyLink 3127.
That is the one I'm on. Your computer just doesn't like you today.
Now, help me write this. Help me write this in a non-cryptic language. It is so cryptic. It is so cryptic that even it's so hard to understand that.
I like how yours says
So line number 12.
0. This is mine 7.
So where is line 12?
Line 12? Oh, sorry. I am down here in my action.
Okay. So this is very cryptic. I want to simplify how I write it. What do I write here?
Or this one?
Yeah. Line number 12. Yeah, it is very cryptic.
In the My App folder.
Yeah, I'll try simplify.
Add below. Yeah. It's mine's not. RP6 Cloud Technologies. It's the only way anyway. Yeah. Gem files have been like. So it's a capital G.
Got it.
Are you just telling us that?
There we go.
Telling you.
I just had to close it. Yeah, I just had to close it. There you go.
Are we removing the whole entire line or just the mic? That's easier.
It's the whole line. Within, because if you look, scroll further down.
Oh, it's
All right, never mind.
In effect, you will knock off that line. Yeah, the username line. That's pretty much it. That one line knock off.
I'm just gonna put like, doesn't have anything.
Something is wrong. You're in the wrong location. You have it. So nano.
What's my gem? What
you do?
Nothing.
Now we just run it. Bundle install.
Yeah, Control X.
So you don't want to. So what was my gem name? Because I did the next step. So what's my gem name?
Any name can be gem's name. So you have lots of these gems. RDoc, SAS, all these are gems.
Oh, and it'll show where they're located. Got it. So any of those. Yeah.
So I updated number 12 to make it read a little better. Does it read better? Does 12 look better now?
Yeah, baby. There you go.
Okay, let's go to 13 now. Sorry, even 12, there's another step, which is called bundle install. You want to go bundle install in that next step. And this bundle install essentially updates the bundle. That is collection of all the gems you have loaded up. So after adding that line at the end of the file, I want to exit and then say bundle install. It'll pick up anything that we have added in the gem file. So essentially, a gem file is a collection of things I need to run the app. It's a collection of all the gems to run the app. It's a disciplined way of describing what do I need in my application. It's how we describe to Heroku, what do you need to do to run my application. So Heroku will actually grab those gems from wherever gems are stored onto Heroku to prepare a machine infrastructure so that our application can run there, just like it runs here. Gem file essentially is a listing of all things that are needed. And here are all the gems included in the gem file. And it's a long list. I use rake gem, I18N gem, JSON gem, Minitest gem, goes on and on. All these gems are used.
Those are all gems.
All the gem names. And you can actually read all these gems are available in a website. You can go and read. Yeah. Yes. So here are the gems. They sit here. And you can find the Rails gem. And it is version 4.16. That one. And here is how you install it. And here is how you download it, or the people who created it. The author is, and in the gem file you can specify the version you want. So just add one line in your gem file. It looks something like this. And in here you will find that a gem file gets created. I already have this gem file here. So I will show you that gem file, nano gem file. And in that gem file you have a list of gems I need. One of them is this Rails gem. The other one is PG gem, PostgreSQL gem. The other is SAS Rails gem. Another gem is Ugly Fire. Another one is Coffee Rails. And the Ruby Racer gem. jQuery Rails gem, TurboLinks gem, then JBuilder gem, SDoc gem, bcrypt gem. I'm not using it. It is commented out. Unicorn, I'm not using it. Commented out. Capistrano Rails, not using it. Debugger gem, not using it. Rails factor 12, I am going to use it. In fact, that's the reason we have item number 12 here, is to actually add that specific gem called Rails 12 factor gem, because that's what Heroku wants us to do. Otherwise, it will not accept. It will not run. So it is Heroku expects you to have this gem running in your local machine so that they will also run it when you run it there. And that's where this gem comes from. And that's the last line we added in the gem file. We exit out of it and do a bundle to install the bundles of all the gems collected in the gem file, which is a listing of all the gems we need with version numbers. If you go back to this site here, you can find out all these Ugly Fire and whatever names that we have, Ugly Fire gem. Let's look at what that gem is and what Ugly Fire does. Here's how you install it. Gem install Ugly Fire, and if you have a gem file, you write it like this. And who created it? This guy. And how many downloads? 18 million downloads. It's huge. It's a very popular gem. And what it does is uglifies and minifies JavaScript files by wrapping uglify.js to become accessible in Ruby. It's basically compacting your code to make it small so it loads faster.
Whenever you're accessing the console, the Heroku console, how do you back out of the actual console itself?
Control D.
So uglify.js is a JavaScript file, and Uglifire is just a wrapped up smaller version of that, and it makes it so you can use it and like zip it.
Yes. Conceptually like zipping it, making it look ugly and small.
So, suggestion. For a lot of the steps, you don't mention that you have to bounce out, one section to get into another.
So if you do this, then you're inside the console. But then I have to add the unicorn application to my gem file.
Yeah, assumptions, nerdy assumptions.
Yeah.
That's why that's why I actually go step by step to make sure people understand it, first timers. But once you know, then it's second nature. That's why it is probably second nature to me, and I skip it. But good point. I'll add that right now. So 29 or just about everywhere?
Well, 29 specifically.
And the control to exit the...
Anything. Control D is to exit anything. Control C is to break anything.
Oh, okay.
For 16, like, do you want, like, I'm trying to understand it, nano the gem file and make sure that's on the end, I'll add it at the end? Is that what it's saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you should add 212. I think I updated the Ruby to 212. So it should be 212 instead of 211. So there is a line that you should add there, and it is. So now let's do line number 13, which is to remove the username field from your database YAML file, if there is one. So the database connection happens through a file called database YAML. YAML is yet another markup language. YAML. Okay, the number 12, what we want to do is at the end of the, let me refresh it. I have a new write-up for number 12. And the write-up reads a little different. It says, look for this file called gem file in the my app folder and edit that file using nano like this. So you are in your my app folder. And here you will look for the file called gem file, which is here. And you want to nano it, edit it by typing capital G. And at the end, you look for a line that I already have added. You will probably not have it first time. You take this line, the line above, copy it, and paste it here like this. And then exit. That's line number 12. The line number 13 is the next step of removing username field in the database YAML. So in our application, we have a config database YAML file. So that file is inside our config folder. And here is the database YAML file. And we want to edit that file. We want to edit that file by going to nano and then say config.//database.yaml. And in that line, we want to edit one line and remove that particular line, which is at the bottom. You have this line. That's what we want to edit. We want to get rid of this line altogether, like this. And then you exit and save. And what this line tells Rails that the database that we have should be run under a role of my app. And since you likely do not have this role in your database, you will remove it. With that line removed, Rails will try to access the database as a user who is currently logged on to the computer. And so it will work, even in Heroku. Next, you want to check your database.yaml file and make sure it looks something like this. And so we'll compare that. We'll again open nano and look at the commentary. Most of it is commentary, so skip all the hashtags. Skip all the hashtags all over. And now compare the useful parts, which are not hashtag. The not hashtag parts begins here. Default, which is exactly what we see. And then pool number 5. We see that. Then in development, we have default and one more line in database. Then more commentary. We skip all the commentary and go all the way at the bottom where we have the production segment. We have a test segment also here, which is again default and my app test. We keep scrolling down, skip all the commentary, which is hashtags, and then compare with production. And production also matches. And that is good. So we want to come out of that by pressing Control X. And here, we want to run our bundle install one more time. Oh, sorry, I should say bundle install. And then in the Ruby version, this line number is 212. I think I updated Ruby on the machine, but did not update the notes. So I should update the notes. Yeah. So where are you flying? Oh, you're going to Michigan. Yeah. Okay. See you guys. So in the Ruby version, we want to specify that Ruby version in the application. And at the end of the gem file, we want to add one more line, which is this line. So we'll take that line, copy it, go to our virtual machine. And in here, hey, did you fill the papers?
Yes.
Both of you? Good. Take a cookie.
I already had like 3 cupcakes and cooking a whole box. Good. Thank you. Break time. Whenever you want.
I have a question, and it doesn't involve this. It does involve this, but not on this. Why can't I do?
You can. You can do everything on Mac also.
What is it missing? Why does it say
Tool belt. Tool belt is missing. You have to install tool belt. Heroku tool belt on Mac. Heroku tool belt. Yeah, we are on line number 16, and I just updated line number 16 to reflect the Ruby version we have installed. And in that line, you're 12. Okay. Scroll back. Okay. So what we want to do in line number 12 and item number 12 is open a particular file called gem file, and at the end of that file, at the tail end of that file, we want to add a line. Right? Sweet. 13. Good. So 13 is very, very simple again. At least I think it is simple. Is to edit that particular file called here. That's the name of the file. In this file, remove that line. So look for it and kill it. I know. So you have to go look for that line. It's at the end, somewhere at the end. Not at the very end, but almost at the end. You want to look for it, and then you kill it. Delete it. And that, when you exit out of Nano, then you'll complete number 13. Then we go to the next step, which is number 14. It's basically comparing notes between what the line number item 14 says and what the actual file is.
So do we just write?
No, you don't write, you compare notes. It's check. Your config file should look something like this. Open it in Nano, compare it with browser.
When I compare it, like on the first, the default dot default, like on the, you have like only 4 lines, okay? Mine is like a couple more.
Ignore the commentary.
Okay.
Ignore pound hashtags. You can ignore hashtags, we don't need them. You are sitting in the root. You should never go there. Go, stay in your home. Yeah, you're sitting on the root. It will not let you do anything there in root. So just CD enter, it brings you back to home, and you work in your home.
So I'm just checking it. That's it.
Yeah, compare notes with what you have here, with what you have there. It is almost identical except commentary. Commentary will be there. You can leave the commentary. Just compare notes. Did you make it right? Did you do it right? And then you skip number 14 and go to 15, which is reinstall your dependencies to generate a new gemfile.lock. So you basically do bundle install and it will update your gems.
So I did the
Yep.
install and
Good. Bundle install in line number 15, right?
no, it's
12.
13, remove 32.
Remove that. So it says remove the username feed in your database YAML if there is one. So in that file called config/database.yaml, so there is a file called config/database.yaml. You open that file and knock that line out. So nano space config dot.
It destroys it if you don't save.
Don't forget to fix that.
No, nano, and then config/database.yaml. In that file, you want to knock off one line. The line is that one. That line, you have to delete that line from that file. Enter. Go scroll all the way down, you will find it there.
They're on AWS.
Yeah, Heroku runs on AWS. Yeah, delete that line completely, like all the way, end to end.
Okay. So, yeah, install Heroku in a second.
Yeah.
did downloaded something like Git. What did I download? This.
GitHub.
Yeah.
That's a GitHub app.
So is it cool?
It's useful.
Were
Yeah,
you really
useful. This is good.
They said it was easy.
Yeah, it is easy.
I don't care if it's easy. It's like,
Command line is better. Better. Makes you look smart.
that's why it's better.
That's the only reason it's better. So after we compare nodes with line number 14, compare with the database YAML file, we now run line number 15, which is bundle install. And then we go back and specify the Ruby version at the end of gem file, which is take the Ruby version here, edit your gem file, and go to the very end and see if you have a Ruby reference. Probably do not. And so at the end, we'll say, I want to use Ruby 2.12 and exit. That's it.
Wait, well,
You gotta be specified or it's gonna say.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I need to refresh my browser. You change it to 2.12?
Yeah.
Okay, because I got 2.11. Okay.
Yeah, 2.12. We are in the machine. We have 2.12. Huh? What do you want to get done?
I wanted this stuff to be so.
So learn CSS. Learn CSS. You can play with whatever you want. Make it happen.
So I got to the end where it says get status.
Huh.
And, I think it might have been because when I did before I was 2.1.1. Now.
So you have to commit and push again. Git add, commit, push. Git add, git commit, git push. No, multiple steps.
Oh, okay.
Git add dot. Git commit with a comment. With dash am, and then put a comment in string. So space, quote, comment, quote. Yes, period. And so after line number 16, which is to add a gem file, add Ruby versions in the gem file, we want to do another bundle. Just bundle. Bundle is basically packing up. It's not going to do anything, but making sure that we have all the ducks in row. It's okay, fine. Next step is line number 17. In line number 17, what we are doing is conceptually we already have done in the past. What we are doing is putting our work that we have done in the My App folder inside a Git repository, and then pushing it to Heroku as opposed to GitHub. We are going to push this to Heroku, right? So the steps here are git init, git add dot, git commit dash am with a comment, and then git status to check the status if everything is clean, right? So we basically put everything we have in the My App folder inside control of Git by doing steps laid out in number 17. Git init dot means here. Initialize a Git repository right here in the My App folder. Git init dot right here. Initialize a Git repository. Dot is right here. Dot. Right. Yes, it will be a new repository name, not file name.
Save your master though, and change the mesh model to a check.
Yes. So git init dot will create a repository, empty repository locally, and then when you say git add dot, it will add everything in your current folder into Git. And then you say, yes, please commit, confirm, I confirm. That's the next line, which is commit line. Yes, so now you have to do the next step in line number 17, which is git commit dash am, and then a comment like on Sachin or initial commit or whatever comment you want to add, and that commits your content inside Git repository that you just created by git init. So the idea is git init, git add, git commit, the 3 steps to creating a Git repository. And once we have it, then we'll check the status and eventually push it. When we push, the whole thing goes to Heroku. Git status. Yeah, you have some something is missing. The exclamation mark is an indicator that you have something changed. So you have to do git add and git commit again. So I'll show you an easier trick. So break it. Control C. Yeah. Type G and up arrow. All the gits will come. Yeah, you got to clean. You completed 17 successfully, right? Yes, it does. It does show that you have. Good. The next step is, I think we want to go is do 18. Now, before we jump on to 18, say yes. Okay. Before we jump on to say 18, we want to describe what this thing is. It is about telling Heroku, please create an application for me. Heroku, please create an application for me. The command is Heroku create. That's what 18 is. So we are telling Heroku, use my login, use my credit card if I have given you, and create an application container for me so I can push my stuff to you and you run it. That's what Heroku create is, right? So if you run Heroku create, what it will do is give you a handle. Here is where I'm going to put it, the box I'm going to create for you. So I'm going to clear it so you can see on the top, Heroku create, enter. It will tell Heroku right now, please create a place for me so I can store my app with you. I can push my app to you. And it is going to come back whenever it does. Hopefully it does. Yeah, it may not work in my case, but some of you got it working. In my case, I don't know why it's not working, but I will investigate. Okay, my thing is not working because I never finished the step number 1. Yeah, it has to be master. So let me finish logging in. Hold on. Yeah, I don't remember my password. I do not ever remember my password. It will not be visible to you.
Is that a normal program for even Windows?
No, Mac only. But you can use it.
So
it's called lastpass.com. I gave you a link a while ago. Yeah, lastpass.com. LastPass. So this time, if I create a Heroku app, Heroku create, it should let me create an app because it knows me. I hope it works. I haven't actually finished step number 2 and 3 yet. I just jumped forward, right? I do not have my keys there probably. So it will not work on this machine. Don't look at it. It will work on your machines.
So when I create this,
yeah, proc file.
Where is that?
Dot. It's in dot, as in my app. So touch, when you touch it without giving any path, it is dot. So you have to create a dot. Touch it first.
I already did.
So edit and nano it.
I got it. You put it in the config.
So it should be in the dot, not config.
Okay. All right.
Yes. MV. Config slash proc file 2. The capital P proc file 2 space dot. Space dot. Bring it here. It says bring it here. Move that thing to here. Enter. Yeah, it brought in. Here is dot.
Okay. Okay. What is the dash AM?
Is A is to add, M is to take my message in the string that follows.
Initial commit.
Yeah.
And so that will display as like a note
In GitHub.
in GitHub. Okay. And then the status will tell us whether it's actually.
Yeah, whether it actually completed committing or not. So it says permission denied public key. Fatal could not read from remote repository. Make sure you have the correct access rights to the repository exist. So did you give the key to them ever? Public key? Yes. Let's see. Heroku keys. Type here. Heroku keys. Enter. And if you have, oh, there are tons and tons of keys you have given. You have to delete all your keys and do it one more time. Did you log in as you or somebody else?
He was having issues with his login originally.
Ah, okay. So you want to check Heroku auth and see who's logged in. AUTH. Heroku. Auth. Yeah. Enter. So you want to first of all Heroku log out, or rather, who am I? So it will tell you who am I. Heroku auth colon who am I. So go up arrow. Break it up arrow, and then colon who am I. So it will tell you who are you. I is not capital. So looks like you are Nilesh.
Oh, look at you!
It's I think it's my mistake. I must have not logged out. So you should now Heroku auth log out. Yeah, you have to Heroku auth log out. I never logged out when I created the machine. I forgot to log out. That's what it is.
But when you created this machine?
Yeah.
You created this one from your user.
Yeah, all machines are created by me.
Oh gosh. So then.
So yeah, I should add a line saying, please log out. I should tell everybody this. Yeah. It looks like I logged into your virtual machines already when I created it and I forgot to log out. So all of you are me. Yes, all of you are logged in as me. So please log out. Otherwise, you're loading apps in my account.
What?
Which is okay. It's okay, but just log out. I'll tell you how to log out. That's crazy. I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem I just noticed, you're successfully working it, but you're loading the applications in my account.
That's what we need to type.
Yeah, you log out and then you log in as you. You're logged in as me.
So I can still do it.
Yeah. Yes. So I think so. Yeah. Some of you did not. They just skipped that step. So I just noticed that. So this is a login step, this is a logout step, and there is a step called who am I? You can find out who you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely you.
So please log out, Nilesh, because Nilesh is not you.
Does that mean we're going to have to start at the beginning and do it all?
No. Just log out, log in. Huh?
If they log in with their own credentials, their own email and password, how is it on your account?
Probably a bug in Heroku toolbelt.
Yeah, because I definitely did that in the beginning, and I'm logged.
Okay, well, that's
Yeah, I think, this is,
massive charges.
it's okay.
He makes $4,000 off each.
Yeah.
I make $4,000 a person. I can afford this.
Huh?
On Branch Master, notebook submit, working directory.
New notebooks.
Yeah. I'm here.
Sorry, one at a time. Yes, say yes to it.
How do I exit out of?
He logged out, logged back in. It's still.
No, type that, not this.
No, he said he just did it.
Yeah. So shows you.
Log out, and then you log in. If it still says Nilesh, that's a problem in Heroku. What? You know what? Use my account. Fine.
Oh man.
Fine. Something is wrong with Heroku right now. He just experimented with it and it's not logging you out. Even if you're logging back in as you, it is still me. I don't know what's going on. In the meanwhile, use my account. I don't know what's going on. Huh?
You're just flushing away money.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
Still need to back up a little bit. I was at 20. Do I need to back up?
No, no need to back up.
So
No,
just
choose Heroku create 18 number. Just yeah, 18. You want to create after you make sure you log in as Nilesh. Go ahead. Heroku create.
Some people were wondering about 20 if you should hit yes to continue. Maybe you should add that.
After 20. Okay. I think either it is a bug in the way I created the machine or it's a bug in Heroku tool belt. We have to find out. But right now, use my account, no problem. Not allow you to push it?
Yeah. Like I tried, it has the same how he does it log in as you.
So that push error is a different error.
Okay.
You want to create a new app. Hold on, let me read it. It says
Is it because we're making the same thing and it has the same name?
it cannot have the same name. Compare the name, it should be different. Guarded shelf, that's the name, right? You got is guarded shelf 3366. Is that the same name anybody else has? I don't think so.
We're not like overriding each other.
So what is the name of your app? In Heroku? No, the URL. What's the name of the URL?
Wait, so you're saying this part, the 366?
That's your name. That's unique to you. Is that unique to you? Is the question.
Yeah, the master, the master, whatever.
Yeah, the
Get push master.
He's the murmuring wave 7942. See the top?
It's different.
It's different.
Oh.
You create a new app.
A new all over again?
No. Only the Heroku app.
All I heard was start over.
No. Let me work with you on that.
The same.
So it's an app is called Guarded Shelf 3366. It's a different app. So this is the name of the app. And I want to remove that app completely. And I will do that exactly right now. What I will do is, no, that is like brute force killing. I want to remove only the app. That's what I want to make it easy on you. So you don't want to go RM minus RF, but instead,
I can't just like rename it or something.
that's what I'm trying to do.
Oh. So why didn't it work?
I don't know why it did not work, but I'm going to remove the Heroku portion and bring it back a new one.
Okay. So sometimes it just doesn't work.
We don't know the reason. It's not random. We have to understand the reason. There is a reason why it did not work. I just don't know right now.
Okay. No, the copy paste of what I did earlier. That's like
Yeah.
all capital.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find out what I wanted to copy paste, which is which is, this is what I want to copy paste. And so hold on. So you got a new app now, Evening Beach, and we just finished step number 18. So where is that 18 step sequence? Yeah, from 18. So let's look at that. Sorry. So we just kind of created Heroku create. I just finished this 18. Now you can do these things.
Why can't I get into root? I'm trying to install the tool belt. It says, "Are you root?" I can't get to root.
In here, you already have it installed.
Right, but if I'm trying to update
It automatically updates. Yeah.
give me the option.
Huh?
And it's updated. So I was like, oh, maybe I should update it.
Then you have to do sudo. How did you update?
So I need sudo app. There we go.
Log back in. I started with 18. Now it's telling me about my key.
And it's
so
okay.
I'm supposed to add my key when I log back in.
You want to sit here?
It's okay. I'll figure it out.
I have no idea. It's 22.
And then we're out. Well, he's the only one. So like in my office, I met three other guys that work on this project, but they're on different scopes of it. So they work on a different team. But I'm still on the queue part.
You know what? I read a really cool song today by Mark Twain. In the car. It said, "I will never get a letter."
What does RR mean?
It's a mistake.
Oh, okay.
Think about it. How much do you teach yourself? Okay, so you go out and you learn and you choose to educate yourself. Universities become a great boon to society. It's just done.
That's fine.
You go to school and do you really learn what you need?
That's a pretty fair transition. It's all there. I'm all the way here.
It's practical. But when you go to college,
So I have to do it.
we can tell. Got shot ahead of dinner.
Oh, you're done.
Yeah, that possibly be since I had to log
You
out
never.
was
Yeah.
you.
No, you did not create key or update it. Did not provide your key to them. I just added the key and it started working.
Weird. I like watching you troubleshoot. I learn a lot out of you just watching when you troubleshoot with these things. Okay.
When I, okay. You guys start from 21 when all this stops, or do I need to?
It will run and give you a link to go, and you can see your app there, and you're done.
You jumped me all the way to the end so that I wouldn't ask me. He's like, tired of this guy. won't even bother me anymore. Okay.
Hey, question. Tuesday.
Me. Yeah, it's okay. I think he's keeping it. You have him.
Yep. Number 20, so I don't know. I mean, it's like.
Where are you stuck?
I did like this one, and it came that one. So
See, is your app already running on Heroku first thing first? Don't jump beyond too much.
yeah, it's still like it says yours.
That's okay. It's okay to use. Yeah. The thing I want you to check is your app live on Heroku already? Did you do Heroku push, Git push Heroku master?
This one? Yeah.
Yeah, the line 20. Did it finish?
Yeah.
So what did it say?
Sorry. He said.
It did not finish. Said, you said yes, and you said yes, and connection code could not read. So you want to break it. And in here.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
So this is going to push it and make it live. This is working now. When it finishes, it will show you the app on Heroku.
When you do it, it works. When I do it, I did the same thing like you.
I know.
That's why you frustrated me. Like
I know.
It's Tuesday. You're doing the video, or the people are coming in for video.
The TV crew, yes.
But are they also doing pictures?
They are television crew, the state television.
Oh, state
They're not TV. They're not my people.
Okay. Well,
I am my photographer.
Okay.
Okay. I will bring the camera if you want me to. Right?
So that way, after you do the LinkedIn class, people can get their
Yes,
photos,
yes.
But give them at least advance notice so they can get their suit and tie get up.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. If you
How nicely do we need to dress up on Tuesday?
I think
Business casual.
All right.
business casual, or if you have military uniform you feel comfortable with. No.
I might wear that.
Can I ask you this? Can I ask you this question? Why do you not feel comfortable with the military uniform? I just don't know.
I can wear it. It's just physically it's uncomfortable to wear.
Ah.
It's not the most comfortable thing.
Ah.
I can't wear it.
But I do want to take at least one picture with you guys in full uniform. Is that okay?
That's fine.
At least one.
For those of us that
Yeah.
are still in.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. So
And look bad if I throw on the uniform with the beard. They won't buy this as a shaving profile. Hey, so what festival's going on?
in India,
Yeah.
it's called Navaratri.
Yeah, because our counterparts that are packaging our apps are on the festival.
I know the festival until like 9-10 days. Yeah.
That's crazy. I want to be called festival.
You can call it.
Show up to work.
Yes.
Happy dessert.
Thank you, sir.
Write an email. I'll do it.
Sweet.
Voluntold.
No, that was a pure volunteer. That was a pure volunteer.
So how many of us have a Heroku app running already?
No, partially.
Partially.
Proxy.
By proxy?
By proxy. We did a step-by-step success by proxy.
Yeah.
What are dinos?
Dinos are similar to a machine instance or a droplet.
Droplet? Okay. So it's two things that spin together. You drag your car on it, you tune it.
So our Git push Heroku master. Is anybody failing on that one? Git push Heroku master. Anybody failing?
Whose email should I? Mine or yours?
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter anymore. I think I gave you a wrong machine apparently. That I did not remove my credentials. I should have removed. I did not.
Packages and make us create our own machine. Take all the names.
That will be like too much work on a very first day. Right? All of you start hating me right away. Yeah, you can do that, but I don't want people to run away from my class. So I do the work to give you a ready-made machine. Now you can build like he did, like build 5 machines already, this guy.
It's all crashed every time.
That's a process of learning.
I just got to the certain level and it doesn't work.
It's called break fix. The best way to learn.
So I want to find out Who did not successfully complete git push Heroku master? No success. So do it.
So I created the form and the config file, no problem. Put all that. So the cat, that's all fine. It says create proc file.
Yeah, touch it.
In what folder?
Local dot at my app. Not in config. Dot.
I mean, like for this, like he's creating a proc file. Like, is there any way we could like explain what we're doing right there? Like, what is that?
That's what I'm doing, like step by step as I walk. So you're running ahead of me, but I want to actually step by step explain it. Every step I'm doing that. I have reached step number 18. Right. So in step 18 we did Heroku create, right? Next we checked our remote connections to the Heroku destination. Line number 20 we succeeded with this, all of us, git push Heroku master. What this did is took our package, the entire my application, my app folder in git, and we handed it off to Heroku. Hey, please run it for us. And now Heroku is running it for us. Are you able to open that link that you get back from Heroku after you do line number 20 and open it in a browser? So line number 20, command number 20, when you finish it, it will give you, your app is live and running at this location. Yeah. So 23 will open it up in a browser, Heroku open. So it will show you your time of day. Your time right now is time.now. Instead of saying time.now, it will actually show you the time.
It's on like 21 gigs. You need to type this one on down here or like that's what
you type Heroku run here. If you are using database, but in our application we are not using any database, so we don't need to do this.
Okay.
Line number 21 is not needed because we are not running any database. It's a huge phone.
But then, like, if you're not doing this, how are you going to check this one over there? Yeah, that's like how you going to check this one.
Heroku PS is you run it on the terminal right here. Space PS.
I think that was like 2 years ago. Some upgrade.
So I got T-Mobile after 6 months.
And so Heroku open, line number 23, Heroku open will open at a browser. Control C. Control D.
Oh, D?
Yeah.
So they upgraded my computer every single time. I have paid for one Mac in 5 years and have like the newest one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, look at this beautiful crap.
So I finally
Yeah,
ran out of
it'll change it again.
Apple Care paid off 3 times with 3 brand new computers. The
How nice.
first one, the CD-ROM, everything went out 3 times. They're like, here's a brand new computer.
Are you out of it?
And then again, brand new computer update, and then again.
So open Heroku open, run it. Heroku open.
Yeah, just reset the machine. It's not connected to the internet though. I am connected to the internet.
This is a quick fix.
Git push. And then with these assignments, it says like what to do, but not what to put here. So if you'd say like put your findings, tell me what you think, it's like
Yeah.
there's nothing that
Yeah, it's just an action, no response expected. If I expect a response,
okay, because
my goal is to make you read, and I think you did. So I'm not that what do I call it? A person who will regulate your behavior. You see what I'm saying? I'm not a regulator to control your behavior. All I want is make you read that. And if I succeeded in that, I'm happy. I don't need to go and check. I already know whether you click on it or not. Do you know that?
yeah, you told me
Right.
you can
So you don't need to
can
tell me.
stalk us.
Yeah, you can. If you visit my property, I'm stalking you. So
So So just to get it off, so just make
Yeah.
a blank document and
So
send it.
you can do that, but I trust you. You will read it. If I tell you something, you will do it. I'll trust you. Right? There's no policing here. It is for your benefit. I want you to read. And I trust that you will read. If you don't, you lose. And as a consequence, I lose. I don't want to lose. But I don't want to police you either. Okay? I'm not a cop. So I want you to read though.
You'd be a funny cop.
Yes. Yes. I want you to really read and understand. And if you do not understand, ask me. But if you don't read, don't talk to me.
Oh God. What happened? Why do I?
Today's class we did exercise on creating a Rails application and deploy it on a very good path in production.
So why did we
Talked about
destroy it?
MVC
Oh, we didn't destroy
pattern,
anything. We tried to
and
destroy
model view and control.
the remote view.
Beautiful. Send it.
Send it.
Roll that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, so anybody who wants a copy of the clap or the
What?
clap?
Come see me after class. Hey.
All 3 hours. Now.
Wow.
Because anybody who wants the speaking notes for Saturday's class, if you're not going to be there, just email me and I'll shoot it out to you. And then if you want additional help or want to go over it in person, just get with me offline. Send me another email once your profile's completed.
I want everybody to join that Saturday discussion that he's going to talk about. That LinkedIn thing that he mentions is actually beautiful. I like it. I want him to spend all time he needs to make it happen. I want you to learn. And it is not a hangout. It is whatever that thing is, Fuse. And I will record it. I will, but doesn't mean that you will not. If you, I'll give you only if you are present.
I cannot attend.
Okay.
Cannot.
So don't take excuses. I want you to attend Saturdays. And you heard Sean Murphy very first day.
Yeah.
Views?
You already know. I'm like, I'm going to be incapacitated.
I couldn't see last time.
I want to see what did you see? So I want to see that.
It'd be a good experience either way, but you're not down, so it's good.
I'm going to try my desktop.
Do you know how?
They'll figure it out. That's what you're gonna say to me? There's a better way to say it.
You're done.
Figure it out.
Yeah, that's a little too much. I just tried my desktop.
I want to see the Fuse thing. I want to see what's going on. Show it to me.